Hey everybody, it's Laurel. Welcome back to Flosstube number 2. I am super excited to be back again. I hope everyone's been well. I just want to thank everyone for the kind response and comments that I got on my first video. It's very much appreciated. I did get a couple emails, started some chats and some future friendships with some people. I really appreciate this community and the outreach that I've received after the first video. I did watch my first video several times before I posted it, and then as soon as I posted it, I watched it again and found some mistakes that I had misquoted. So I did make corrections down in the description box on that video, and I will do the same in future videos if afterwards I need to add or correct anything. Today's October 29th, it's a Saturday. Normally Saturday will be my filming day. Not really sure if I will have a set day for posting, but my plan is to do a video every couple weeks. That seems to be the trend, and I understand just to have enough time to get some things done. So I do plan on this video showing you what I've accomplished over the last couple weeks, updates on my whips, and then I want to do a finish parade for cross stitch and quilting, and that's just things that are finished but not completely finished. I would like to update a little bit about myself. I didn't in the last video go too much into detail, just not knowing if anybody would even watch or be interested. So I don't want to be one of those people that takes up half their video with personal information. So I'm just going to at the beginning of each video just give you a quick little synopsis of me. I do live in the South. I'm sure you can tell by my accent. Can't do anything about that. I'm country and there's nothing to do about that. Sorry. I was born in Ohio, so I was born a Yankee. I'm a Northerner by heart, true Buckeye. However, I am in the South now, and I've embraced it, and I love it here. I've been married 25 years to the best man on the planet. He's very supportive of my crafting endeavors. He can always tell when I'm having a bad week. We'll do a little shop hop on Saturday. He'll walk around the quilt shop with me, help me pick stuff out. He's great at colors. He's great at using his credit card for me. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. We did, like I said, celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary this year. Went on a great trip for that, and I'll fill you in on that in another video sometime maybe. But it was very enjoyable. We do have 2 children. They are both grown, which is hence part of the reason I said in the last video that I couldn't really get into the short-term reason because it made me a little teary. So I'll try to get a little bit of that out. My son is 23. My daughter is 20. My son lives at home. My daughter has just recently moved out. I have reached a point in my life where I need my children more than my children need me. I love my children. I love my husband. My family is my world. My daughter is currently at Air Force basic training, and it's very hard. I love my children. I need to see them, talk to them, touch them every day. I can't do that right now. So, okay, enough of teariness. So, anyway, she is at Air Force basic training. We are super, super proud of her, and I just can't wait till graduation so I can hug her neck. So, on with what you really came here for, not all my blabbering. I wanted to start today with just a previous finish. I don't really think I can show you all my previous finishes because it would be one video 5 minutes long and we would be done. There'd be nothing else to talk about. So I'm just going to share one every now and again at the beginning of a video. I do have out my fall decorations. As I said before, I don't necessarily decorate for Halloween, but I love fall. I love the colors. When the trees start turning, it's just beautiful. It just makes me so happy. It's just my happy time of year. I every year put this piece out. Love it. It's one of my favorites. It is Hands-On Design, Let's Talk Autumn. I love this series of charts that she has. I have all of them. I have all the seasons except I think it's spring that I don't have. And I also have the quilting and the cross stitch version also that I want to do. This one is done, I know it's a little glary, I'm sorry, is done on a 16 count chalkboard Aida with the called for colors. My plan is to do all of them on the same fabric because the 16 count does fit in an 8x10 frame. And I just think it's super pretty. So I will probably, the next one I will do will probably be the winter. I try every year in my whips to do a snow day piece. So every day that it snows, I will work on a particular piece. And I think winter, let's talk winter, will be the piece that I will do this coming year. Now speaking of whips, I do want to kind of add to something that I said last week. I explained to you how I picked my whip pieces from American Patchwork and Quilting's UFO Challenge. That's how I picked my whips, but I didn't necessarily go into my rotation that I use. So my focus whip that I pick from that challenge is what I work on Monday through Friday. So I'll work on that. Normally I stitch some during my lunch hour at work, and then I'll stitch in the evenings. So Monday through Friday I work on that whip. Since I work on that whip all week, on the weekends I get to reward myself and I do whatever I want to. Sometimes I'm in the mood to still continue to work on that whip because I've really gotten into it, and in the process I might be working on a border that repeats or something, and I want to continue that. It could be a completely different piece. It could be a brand new start. I don't limit my starts to when I finish something. I do have a particular number I wouldn't like to go over in my whips, but it's not set in stone. I'm okay with having the whips. It gives me something different to work on. So let me start with what I finished this week. I do have a finish from a previous whip that I showed you. It is the Drawn Thread Simply Autumn. This is the one that I went ahead and ordered everything called for, the linen and everything. And I've been working on this, and I was able to get it finished. The colors are super pretty. They look really good on the fabric. I don't know if it's showing a little color behind that or not. My plan is to frame it, maybe put it in like a rustic looking frame. I think would look really good. I have discovered I'm not very good at satin stitches, but that's okay. A little practice. I would like to also do the winter in this as well as one of my next pieces. But it went really fast, and I really did enjoy working on that on the linen. The next whip I worked on this week was Country Cottage Needleworks, Nutcracker Village. And this last one is the Toy Store. I didn't get a lot done, but I did get a little bit done. And I knew this would probably happen as the series was being mailed out. As soon as I would get notification that the next one was coming, I would hurry up and put everything else away and stitch like crazy on this one to have that section done before the next one. But now the problem is there's no more sections coming because it's the last one, so I need something else to get my motivation going. But I did get a couple snowflakes in. I got the roof and the top windows. So I'll continue to work on this one. And of course I do still have all of the back stitch and like the French knots and stuff for the eyes to do, so I can work on that when time allows and finish that up. I don't have a certain time frame that I just need to get that done. And then the almost last whip that I worked on this week was Lincoln's Eagle. And this was my focus whip for this month. I won't get it finished this month, I know, but that's okay. This is where I am. Was able to finish up around his head, fill in some of the outline of the feathers on this wing. I did all the blue on this side, and I kind of did an outline for this other, so that'll kind of give me a basis where if I want to pick it up over a weekend, I can just do some fill-in on that. And I do have a trip coming up in November that will have some pretty decent travel time, so I may take this on that trip and use that time to get some of the filling done. And then the last cross stitch piece I worked on this week was Penny Autumn. Michelle with Penny's Daughter Shares finished this one. When she did, I was just like, oh, I want to finish mine so bad. It's super pretty. I did finish the house. I finished the black outline around all of the pennies. I started the urn at the bottom, and I did a little bit of fill-in on the pennies. So this one I really like to work on Saturday mornings. Have really good light in the living room. I've only picked it up a couple times in the evening just because it was sitting on the couch and it was fairly easy to get to, but it's a little bit harder for me to stitch on that one at night because it is a 32 count and it's a little bit harder for my eyes to focus on that. So I can work on it for a little bit in the evenings, but not in really big chunks. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and show you the finishes that I have for cross stitch. So I pulled the charts that I could locate at the time. They're in no order at all whatsoever. There's just kind of how I had them hanging. I didn't go back and re-iron them. They've been hanging on the little pants hangers, so they're not super wrinkled. Some of them might have a few more wrinkles than others, so I'm sorry about that. This is a really old one. I really like my Big Toe Designs charts. I've done a couple. I have one hung up in my hallway that is one of my favorites. It's just very cute. I love the hem that it goes to. This one I stitched years ago, literally, and it's just been hanging, waiting for something to happen. So I will eventually frame it. I don't know. I don't think it will fit in a pre-made frame, so I'll probably have to get it framed somewhere or try to cut something down. I like the colors. They're not necessarily what's in my house right now, but I think they go together good. And again, I do love that hem, so that's my first one, and probably is my oldest finish. Next, this is one that I found during COVID, lockdown, quarantine, whatever you want to call it. I think I probably found it. We were actually on vacation, and of course we were just at home doing work around the house. Due to COVID, we didn't go anywhere, and I found this, I would say like June or July of that year. This was the free stitch along from Fox and Rabbit Linens and Threads. Anyway, this is, I think it's called Friends and Family or something. I can't remember, but you're supposed to have initials of your family members in it. I got so hung up on placement of initials for family members that I just stopped, because there was a lot of, well, they might get married, they might not get married. Well, if they weren't in the family this year, I won't put them in. And then for some reason I feel like they would be offended if they weren't on my cross stitch. They're never going to see it. They're not going to care. But, you know, you get these things in your head. So I think all said and done, I'm probably just going to put the date and my initials down in that bottom and just be done with it. I love the color of this floss. I should have looked to see. It's a DMC. I don't remember the exact color. If you're interested, just let me know and I'll add it to the description box or answer you back. But I do love it. It's on a 14 count, so it's huge. But this probably is what made me just decide that I love Quaker samplers. So that too will one day be framed, but that's going to be a little pricey. So we'll just have to see about that one. All right, the next one is the Scarlet House Little Deed Sampler. I don't remember who I saw working on this. Maybe Brenda, with Brenda and the cereal starter. I love them so much. I can't even tell you. I want to be Brenda when I grow up, like everybody else does, I'm sure. And I also want to be Laura, because I just love them. Anyway, I saw this and instantly ordered it, started it. It's on a piece of 28 count Lugana. I do not remember the color right off. I did have to move a couple little things at the bottom because my initials kind of overtook a little spot in the flowers. I think this is so pretty. I love her stuff. This one went really, really fast. I think just because it's so pretty and I just want it done so bad to get it framed to hang on my wall, and it's done, not framed, not hanging on my wall, but it will be one day. I do want to do some kind of black chunky frame on it. That's what I've seen a lot of people do, and I just love the way it looks. And I'm sorry I'm so in and out of the frame. I'm trying to figure out the right way to stack all my stuff up and where to look and all that stuff. Another Country Cottage Needleworks. These, I was going to do all these. I started them. I was so excited. Did the first 3. Got to April, changed my colors. It was awful and just stopped. But I will probably one day pick these back up. So this one is January. I did change the colors. My snowflakes kind of disappear a little bit, but I love the color of the house. I love that little snowman. He's cute. Then I did February. Again, love the chart. I love their charts. Very easy to read. This one, for whatever reason, I decided to leave the birds off these little end pieces. And I remember when I did that, I posted on Instagram and somebody was like, you have to do the birds. And I was like, no, I don't. But now I feel like I need to do the birds. I think I just wanted to be done is why I didn't. I needed to feel like I'd finished something. So I may go back before this gets finished and do that. But again, these are on 14 count Ada, so it was back when, in the beginning. I don't necessarily love 14 count right now, but it doesn't bother me to stitch on it. And then I did March, and I did change the colors in February also. March, sorry. March I did do the exact colors. And again, it's on 14 count. I don't necessarily love green, but I think this one's really cute. It turned out really pretty. Alright, and then Fat Quarter Shop. This one was called Bloomtopia. I'm pretty sure. It also had a quilt pattern with it. Quilt pattern, if I remember right, is not exactly like this. These are all the called for colors. I bought the floss pack. I don't remember what the called for fabric was, but I picked it's a gray. I'm pretty sure it's a 14 count. And it's cute. Again, not really the colors in my house, but I think it'll be cute. I don't know if I want to do like a white kind of frame around it or like a gray. I'm not really sure. If y'all have done this, I'd love to see your finishes. I haven't seen a lot of these finished, so I need some ideas as to what to do with that one. You know there was going to be some Plum Street. So my daughter has a miniature doxie. Her name is Piper. She rules everything. This is one of the ones that I did after I decided to venture into tea-dyeing my fabric. And I said in the last video that I tea-dyed a piece of fabric to death. I also did it to this one. It's not so much modeled, but I cooked the fabric. It's what I did. Like, I didn't turn it down, and it just cooked and it shrunk everything. So it was originally a 14 count fabric. I don't really know what the size would be at this point, but it's cute. I love that. Look at that little bathing suit. It's adorable. I love the pineapple. The whole thing is adorable. So in my mind, I had a finish envisioned where this would be on like a kind of like one of the boards from Stitch Etc. or one of those places. But I think really it'll probably just be framed. I'll probably just frame that and give that to her at some point if she wants it. I don't know how people feel about cross stitch as a gift. I love it, and I love it hanging on my walls because I did it and I put a lot of time into it, but I don't know how people feel about it as gifts. So let me know, do you gift your cross stitch? I know if it's another cross stitch and you do an exchange, of course they love it and they appreciate it, but if just to give it to somebody, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Sorry, I'm babbling again. Another hands-on design, Snowy Chalkful. This was my snow project this past year, I think. I love the little snowmen. They're cute. And I do have somewhere one of those, it's one of the white boards, and it is from Stitch Etc. Sorry. To put this on, and I bought some like antique looking jingle bells. So I may put one of the like Priscilla's Pretty Plaids or Chelsea's Checks or something behind it and try to finish that off. I'm okay like in that kind of finish. I'm not like ooh ah, but I'm getting braver. So this is on a piece of either 14 or 16 count black Ada. I think it's 14. And I did fill in somewhere along the edges. There were some spaces that weren't supposed to be filled in, but I got a little happy when I was filling in and just did them, but it looks fine. And it's fun. I would like to have that one out and finished for this year. Be My Valentine by Stitching with the Housewives. It's my next one. I watch them every week. They're so funny. I love to watch them interact with each other. I don't really decorate for Valentine's Day either, but I just thought this was beautiful. I love how that pink and red pops off the black, and I'm not a pink girl, and that's something I plan to talk about in another video coming up, but I'm just not like a pink kind of gal, but this, I just needed it. I just loved it. So this is on a piece of black Jobelin. I remember when I was stitching this that I thought it was so hard and so difficult. These middle pink flowers, the swirl is off. I did whichever side I did first, it was off, and I didn't realize it until I got up to do the next one, and I was like, oh, my swirl's in the wrong place. So I just mimicked it on the other side, and it's a rose. Nobody's gonna know. It's fine. I think this one's cute. I do have a little white frame that I bought from 123 Stitch. They have those little, I can't remember the size of the frame, but they have them in different colors. I bought a white one to put this in and wound up putting an Easter piece in it, but I'm probably going to get another one to put this in to display. Okay, so back when Brenda and Laura started the Blackbird weekend sale, I was all in. I was like, oh, yes, please. Yes, please. So I looked through some Blackbird patterns. I'm not sure if I had ordered some at that point or if I had just started collecting Blackbird. I'm not sure. But this one, I was like, this is the one. I have to have it. I promptly ordered the chart, which came mailed with this giant wrinkle down the front, and it just hurt my feelings so bad. But anyway, I did stitch this on a piece of 28 count Oaken Lugana. So it is the called for color, but it's a Lugana versus a linen. This one Has a few specialty stitches, which I had not done before, but I thought, why not? This is probably one of my two favorite pieces that I've done. The colors are beautiful together. I love all the blues. I love the birds. I love everything about it. And I do have quite a bit of fabric left, so once I trim this one down, I'll be able to use that fabric for something else, but I just love that one. I love it. So as I said in my last video, I'm all about anything Americana, and it's not just because my daughter is doing her Air Force thing. It was even before then, but Annie B's is amazing. She has such a variety in what she designs. This one, I don't know when this came out, but when I saw it, I knew I was going to need to get it, so I promptly bought it. But I didn't stitch it until this year. I actually started right around the beginning of July, not to have a 4th of July finish. It was just this and another one were speaking to me. So I asked my husband, I was like, which one should I do? He said, well, it's that time of year, just do the red, white, and blue one. So some of my white kind of fades a little bit into this, but I'm okay with it because the house is the focal point, and that flag is just so pretty. So this is on a piece of Lugana. I'm not sure. Let me just see if I put the sticker in here. It's a piece of 28 count ice blue Lugana that I did that one. And it's pretty. It was very easy to stitch on that blue. You know, I said I don't necessarily love white, but this was a lighter fabric and it was very easy to do. Here's another Scarlet House. Penny Pumpkin. I know for a fact I saw this on Brenda and the Serial Starter because I actually messaged Brenda and I was so excited that she messaged me back like she's a star or something. She is. Anyway, she did message me back, kind of. I didn't know if this was still in print, if it was an older one. But I love it, that pumpkin. I did this on a piece of, I think it's a 16 count Ada, and it's one of those that's white on the back and it's just kind of screen printed on the front. Now, I obviously didn't read the directions before I picked this fabric because it had some over one stitching, if you can see in these little stars. So I don't have the same little stars, I just have some little Smyrnas. There's some little Smyrnas. But I love this, the look of the fabric, and this is just where I was experimenting to see if I could do something different with the stars, but it wasn't pretty, so. I do intend to finish this as a pillow. This will probably be my backing. I've had this out like a dozen times to finish it up. I was like, I can just finish it up real fast. It won't take very long. It's fine. I messaged Michelle again at Penny's Daughter Shares, asked her what she had finished hers into a pillow, and I'd asked her all the questions. What was your measurements? What was your distance? What'd you do? And still not done. So, Scarlet House. Now I did I don't know if I talked about this in the last video or not, for Mania the last couple years, what I have done is pick a designer to use as my Mania. So one year I did all Plum Street Mania. Last year I did the Scarlet House Mania. And I think I started like four or five projects and like worked on them, 6-7 days a piece or whatever. But this one, I just couldn't not get it. As I said, we have 2 huskies, and you cannot keep up with the fur that comes into your house from a husky. but that's okay. They're sweet girls. So this will be a pillow that I finish. I'm trying to find some kind of pretty black trim or something to put around the edge, but that'll be a pillow for the living room. But I thought that was very fitting and cute. My next piece is out of Primitive Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I do not have a subscription to this just because it's a lot of magazine, and I don't necessarily think I would do the majority of what's in them. So when I see something that somebody has done or a specific design, I will run out and snatch it up. This is the one that made me want to buy this one. I think this is in a pattern that's been released. I think it has 4 of them. It has the cardinal, it has an owl, maybe a fish and something else. I'm not sure. But I did this one year on Christmas Day. We wound up having to move Christmas Day for some reason. Not move Christmas Day, but move our family celebration to another day. So I worked on this that Christmas Day and did it. I love the variegation of that floss. Looks really good. And I actually have I actually won this from Annie, the Proper Stitcher. It's a Stitch Etc. board. I think I'm going to finish it on here. I just don't know what kind of fabric to put behind it yet. But I really like that one. And then probably, I don't know, 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, I'm not sure, Jennifer, the Calculated Stitcher, did a whip parade, and she talked about separating her projects into like smalls, you know, what was almost finished, what was a big thing. You know, she kind of separated by size and how much was done, to kind of try to knock some of her stuff out. And I was like, you know, I should go in there and look and see what I have that I could do fairly quickly, what I'm a decent amount far along on. And this, and that design again, Kathy, Bottle and Brush Tree Farm. I think I had the words, and I had like maybe the top 3 trees. So I was like, I'll just get that and finish. It won't take very long. So that's what I did, and it didn't. It was a very quick stitch. This is on a piece of 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed. And I love those colors in that. The aqua and green. The snowflakes look white in the pattern, but they're actually, they call for like a blue color, and it looks really good. So I go back and forth. I kind of want it to be a pillow because she did a pillow and it looks really cute, and then but also be cute framed. I don't know. Back and forth, back and forth. So I was watching Brenda and Laura, and they were discussing the cross stitch laws, and I was one of those people breaking them, so I rushed right out, bought me a red sampler, and this is, I don't know how you say that, Lila's Studio or Lila's Studio. She has so many pretty things. Like, she is getting right up there as one of my favorites, but I thought this one was really, really pretty. And I love, it calls for Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red. So that's what I grabbed. Now it does call for the model. It was stitched on 45 count grandma slip. Again, not at that level yet. So I did mine on a piece of 28 count Lugana. I think this is mushroom. I love how that red pops out there. Just something about red. It's just so, so pretty. Okay, almost to the end. I was in a club for this Heartstring Samplery, the Sunday Stitches. I did the first one that I can't remember the name of. Now that one I did gift. I made it into a pillow and gave it to a sweet, sweet lady. This one, I remember Someone on Flosstube was talking about Linda, 27 count, I think it's a 27 count Linda fabric, and I wanted to try some. So my thought was I was going to do this 1/1 on that, but it was super teeny tiny, so I switched it and did it 2/2. And this was another one of those calculated stitcher inspired, get it out and just finish it. Like, once I'm done, just finish. So I think this one needs a frame finish. I like it. I did change the colors in it. I didn't use the call for colors because I didn't have them, and it was just one of those moments where I wanted to start it right this second, so I just used what I had. And then the last one is You Are the Boss. I love to watch Laura Holt's Flosstube. I'm amazed at what she gets done, which I know that's, you know, her job, but it's always just jaw-dropping to watch her finishes. I have done a few of her charts. Probably the first stitch along that I did was hers. It was like the car with the Christmas tree on top. But anyway, I saw this one. I knew I'd have to do it for my sewing room. I'm using a piece, this is a piece of 16 count Ada, and I think it is I cannot remember the name of it. I'll have to look. If you want to know, just put a comment or something. I'm totally blank. I can't remember. I used the call for colors except for the border. I did change that to a white DMC instead. And I don't remember if it might have just been blanc. I'm not sure. So that is my current finishes, but not completely finished off stitches. I do want to, last time I didn't show any haul and I didn't show plans, so I'm going to do that today. Now I need you to keep in mind that my child is far away from me, and retail therapy is important in situations like that. I am paying my bills. I'm not neglecting my bills, but there's a lot of haul happening right now, so that's just all I can say about that. Alright, so let me start with, okay, there's two charts that I'd ordered. These were actually before my last video that these came in. And like I said, I didn't show any haul in the last video, but I did want to show these because I just think they're super cute. Be On My Bonnet Stitch Cards by Lori Holt. These have been cute, like I've been seeing them, but I've not been like ooh ah. But I have a thing about a gnome. I don't know why. So I had to have this one. I mean, just look how cute he is. He's so cute. So I think I might take all 4 of these and sew them in a row and still use the same kind of pattern, just as one big frame around it. It's my thought. I don't know if that will really come to or not. And this is one. This is, oh, it says it's a division of Little House Needleworks. This is Tumbleweed chart number 7, Legendary Girls. And it says, I figure if a girl wants to be a legend, she should just go ahead and be one. And that reminds me of my girl, so I don't know when I'll stitch it, but I felt like I needed that. And it is, fabric called for is a 32 count toffee linen from Silk Weaver, so I'll have to look. I don't know if that's something I can get or not, but I'm sure I have something or can get something that will work for this. This actually, I had a sweet lady offer to send me this, and I was so excited when I saw it because I was like, oh, I think that's on my wish list, and then I looked and I'd already ordered it. Little House Needleworks, America. I was to finish all the charts that I had that were like Americana, I would have like this beautiful Americana wall. It would just be amazing. So I had to go to, I didn't have to go, but I had to go to my local needle workshop this week. I needed some more floss for Lincoln's Eagle. So while I was there, I looked in her, at the checkout, she keeps a little, I'm sorry for wrinkling, she keeps a basket of her new cross-stitch patterns that come in. Her shop is I would say mostly like needlepoint and yarn knitting, but she does have a variety of cross-stitch, and she does buy pieces here and there of the new charts, and she will order anything that you ask her to that's available. She's the nicest lady ever. Love her. But she had this. Now I have to say that Kathy Barrick and Liz Matthews both are geniuses. The stuff that they design, I watch the videos, I see them on, you know, like, what is it, Needlework Expo and market releases and stuff come out, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then it like sits in the back of my brain, and I just keep thinking about it, and this is one. Now I did order wildflowers that I plan on starting New Year's Day, but Olivia B's last video, she showed it. Oh, it's beautiful. So I might have to start that early, I don't know. But here's this one. So I was thinking about ordering this, and then I didn't, but then I saw it, you know, obviously not the model, but I saw the pattern, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna have to do it. And these are actually like these colors, there's a lot of greens in here, and I didn't realize that's what they were to start with. And I'm not a moth kind of person, but this is just so pretty. And it's Quaker. I don't have a Quaker, I don't think, going on right now, so I feel like I should stitch a Quaker. I just feel like I should. So, and then this morning I got the rest of my pieces. My birthday is this week. Wednesday, I will have a milestone birthday, and it's not 21. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is another one that the Calculated Stitcher showed in a whip parade forever ago. And hold on. Okay, sorry, somebody was at the door. You probably thought I was crazy standing here showing stuff to my tablet. I don't know. I had a fear that that would happen one day. Anyway, so the Calculated Stitcher had shown this in a whip parade, and she showed this one. And oh my goodness, did I instantly fall in love with that. So I instantly bought the chart and became terrified because it, of course, calls for a linen. So because of that, I was like, you know, I'll just start with this little one. So I did the little one. And let me grab it real fast. Sorry, I was not prepared. I meant to grab this. So I did the little one. I changed the colors, and it is done on a 32 count Picture This Plus piece of linen. I'm not exactly sure the color. So I was like, I'll do that one first and just see, you know, if I like the chart, if it's easy to read, you know, that kind of thing. Well, did it, loved it, decided I need to do the other one. Kept looking at it, wasn't sure. And then I just decided, you know what, it's my big birthday coming, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with the silks. Have I ever done silks? Nope. Should I probably start with something small? Yep. Am I going to Nope. So the rest of the silks came this morning. And my piece of linen. And it is the called for, it is cocoa. I did do 32 count. I wasn't going to try on 36. But I'm so excited for that. So excited. So that's my first part of plans coming up. I'm on to, the month is almost over, so I don't know if I'll get any more work on Lincoln's Eagle or not. I do want to finish up Nutcracker Village. I want to start this one. Like I said, I didn't have a Quaker going, so I was kind of planning on starting this one. But now I don't know because I got the White Winter Moth, so I'm not sure. So one of those two I feel like are going to come up pretty soon. Now I am going to change this wording at the bottom. I don't mind the birds are fine. I would like to make this more fall. There is a lady, Georgia Stitcher, Georgia Girl Stitching, who has recharted the words to read Autumn Harvest with some, this is not the chart, this is just the little cover. Autumn Harvest with these little flowers and leaves on the side. She has a Gumroad where you can go on where you pick the price that you want to pay. I will put that down in the description box below if you're interested in that. But you can find her, I think she's on Instagram as Georgia Girl Stitching. If not, I'll try to put that on the bottom too. But you could reach out to her and she can let you know too how to get to it if my directions are bad. But I would like to do this. And this one, this is the Liz Matthews. I knew right away. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm going to have to do that. So originally I was just going to do down to here and make it smaller. But I do like that Autumn Harvest at the bottom. I think that would look really good. So that's a contender for coming up. I did pull a couple other fall pieces that I would like to do. I don't know that I will have time to get to them this season. But I do love them. The Cricket Collection. Playing with Jacks. Now, I wouldn't do the face on this pumpkin. I think it's a little creepy. I get creeped out by weird things. I do have a copy where there's a conversion where it has like leaves or something. But I don't even know that I want to do that one. I might just make it all white. It's just pretty. Oh, and in this one, I was thinking, y'all tell me what you think. So I do have the DMC colors for this. But my fabric is a tea-dyed piece. I was thinking about maybe doing the pumpkins in white and maybe doing one of them like a teal or turquoise. What do y'all think? Let me know. Okay, so I have a couple others that I like. This is the Calendar Crate series by Stitching with the Housewives. My birthday's November, so of course I would want November, and this one is super pretty. I think it's the prettiest one out of that series, so one day I want to do that one. And then speaking of them, all these pumpkin ones they do. Pumpkin Picking Day. So pretty. I also want to do that one, it's that really big one that they have been showing that's on the big pumpkin that people keep changing the name to their name on it. I can't think of the name of it, but I want to order that one. I love this bird sitting on that pumpkin. I would not stitch October 31st on it. I would leave that off. But I love that. Very, very pretty. Okay, so I think that's all of the stitching that I have for this time. What I'm going to do is clean all this up, switch out, get my quilting stuff out. I'm going to come back, I'm going to do my little nerd note. Now I know that a lot of people only like the stitching portion or only like the quilting portion, but you know, I encourage you to look at both. You know, if there's somebody out there that you like. I know Pumpkin Hollow Quilting does both, and of course I do love to quilt and I do love to cross stitch, so of course I like both, but she has some really good ideas that come across, and it is a little bit hard to keep them completely separated, so I'm going to try to do that, but there may be some, you know, stuff that spills over, but anyway, just stay tuned. I'll be back in a minute with nerd notes and quilting. Okay, I'm back. I realized the first part of the video was a little lengthy, and I'm sorry. My goal is to eventually get the videos where they fall just under the hour mark, and that's purely based on what I like to see in a Flosstube video. I watch them a lot on my lunch break, so I need them to not quite take up the whole hour, but be long enough that it fills the time. Let me know what kind of time frame do y'all like in a video. All right, on to nerd notes. So this is the portion of my video, if you didn't watch the first one, where I will give some kind of, it could be a tip, it could be a recipe, it could be a new book, a new pattern, a new designer. It's just a little bit of a transition piece between cross stitch and quilting. Sometimes the nerd note may be cross stitch related, and sometimes it may be quilt related. So today's nerd note is cross stitch related. When I kit up a project, I do like the floss rings. I watched a video a while back. MommaLovesYouGB did a really neat video about how to make these. I can't imagine that you would have found me and not found her, but if not, by all means, go watch this. These were so cool and so fun to make and very inexpensive. But anyway, I do like to keep my floss on the rings. When I'm done with a project, when I've finished, when I'm finished, I will take them and put them back with my floss stash. Now, I know that a lot of people are in the clubs for the overdyed floss or silk clubs. I know there's other people that I've heard from that are new and they don't really have the funds to establish a big stash. So just a little idea that may or may not help you. So normally when you have a designer that you like I love Flosstube. So a lot of her designs will use the same colors. That's just a color palette that she likes. I know Blackbird sticks to a lot of the same colors, and I think most designers to a point use some of the same colors. So when I'm done with my chart, I'm done stitching that piece, I'll take these and put them back in my stash. So then I have these that are, you know, added back. Then any that I have used completely, I pull off, put in my little bowl. It can be in a bowl, it can be in a little bag, it can be in a basket, or you don't even have to keep the tag. Say you keep a list on your phone, say. So then when I go back to my local needle workshop, or if I'm placing an order online, whatever it may be, I can go in here and see, oh, I'm out of this color. Let me just go ahead and add this one to my next order. So then you're just adding back what you have used up in smaller pieces. So where you may not necessarily want to buy a dozen overdyed flosses for your next Blackbird project, but you might have used 6 of those in your last 3 projects completely up, and you have over time added those back in, so you could go and pull from your stash and have them there. Just maybe a little tip to help you build your stash that won't seem so overwhelming all at once. Okay, so next I want to do a finish parade, so to speak, for my quilting. I did not pull all of my quilt tops out or all of my in-process quilt tops because we would be here a long time. So first I want to show you just what I have worked on quilt-wise since the last video. And then I'm going to show you some tops. Some are quilted, some are, a couple are quilted, most are not quilted, some are missing the binding still, so they're not completed quilts yet. So in the last video I talked about the Riley Blake Design Challenge, I think it was number 2, that I started. I did do one block in that from last week, since last time. Can't talk. Some of my seams are a little not very matchy. I don't know. I may redo this one. I'm not 100% sure, but I only got the one block done. I am a little disappointed. I talked about in the last video how there was a setting that someone had put out on social media that I wanted to do, and I just loved it. I thought it was beautiful. And I did a little more looking into that, and I am not going to have enough scraps to use that setting. What she basically did was she used these pieces to frame around. She did one row all the way around in a square, and then she did a large like medallion piece in the middle that just set it off. It was so pretty. But I looked at my scraps, and I'm just not going to have enough to do. So I currently, with this one, I have a dozen of these blocks. No, I have 10 of these blocks done. And I think I may just do 2 more. I think there's maybe 14 altogether, or 16. Maybe, I can't remember. But I think I'm just going to do a dozen, just put them in a traditional setting and go ahead and finish it off. I may at some point get these back out, the pattern back out, and do them in a different fabric line and do that original setting because it is just gorgeous. And I will try to find who it is that posted that and put it in the description box below so that you'll see. And I did look, these blocks will finish at 10 inches. I said last time I thought they might be 9, but they're 10 finished. So a couple more of those to do and then put it together in a quilt. And I do love a 2-color quilt, red and white, blue and white, black and white. Love them all, very pretty. Okay, we're gonna try again. I ran out of some storage, so I had to go download some stuff. So, all right, so the next thing that I worked on was a mini charm square pack. I had bought some a while back. I like pre-cuts, and I decided I want to try to do some stuff with them. So I went online and Googled mini charm square patterns, and there were some freebies out. This one, okay, got to talk fast. There's a lot going on here. Just got a call from my baby, so very happy and excited, and got to compose myself a little bit. Okay, so back to where I was. I'm not exactly sure where I was, but this is a freebie pattern that I found online for mini charm square packs. So my plan is to finish this into a pillow, and I think I'm going to do like a teeny tiny little like crosshatch pattern quilting on it. Now these other ones, I'm going to try to show you like a quarter of the quilt because they're big. All of these are on my Instagram, my quilting Instagram, which is I Am a Quilt Nerd. All of my quilting is on there, and my cross stitch is on I Am a Stitch Nerd. So if you want to see the full quilts, just go look on my Instagram or let me know and I can send you a picture. This is a Jolly Bar quilt from Fat Quarter Shop. It's called, I think the fabric line is Midnight Magic 2. So that one is complete. It just needs some quilting. This is a layer cake that I got a few years back. And this is one of those, you split the layer cake in like 3.5 and 6.5. Sew them together, flip them, cut it again, 3.5, 6.5, and mix them up, sew them together, and that makes a really pretty scrappy quilt. And my long arm quilter actually has a quilting pattern that has gnomes on it. so excited. This is, I don't know if you can tell, yeah, it's the little gnome fabric in it. Love it. Alright, when I was little, I loved Kewpies. I just thought they were the best thing ever. And I don't know, maybe not everybody was into Kewpies, but anyway, I was so excited. Like, I think it's Riley Blake had a Kewpie line that they put out, and right now, if you find it most places, it's on clearance because it's been out for a while. So this was a kind of a quilt as you go strip quilt thing that Annie, the proper stitcher, had shown. She had made one for her daughter, and I just made a little one out of one of my Kewpie jelly rolls, and I think it was called, I can't remember. I'll try to list the name in the description of what the fabric line was called. This is another Jolly Bar. Sorry. This is from the Smoke and Rust collection. Pretty sure that's right. I like this one. It's a little bit different from what I normally do, the patterns and stuff, but I like that. The prints and the colors. It's a little more masculine, I guess, so it's something that's not so frilly to put out for the boys to use. And they do have, I have a quilting pattern picked out for that has like buck and broncos on it, so that was pretty cool. So my favorite quilt block ever is the Snail's Trail. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Every time I see a quilt with it, it's beautiful. I had started this quilt many years ago with a friend of mine out of the same fabric line. I don't know who the designer of this line was, and I'm sure it's long gone, but you can see it's blues, browns, creams. It is a foundation paper piece pattern that I used for that. But I love the colors, and I can't wait to get that one quilted. It's a little bit bigger than a lap. It's like a large lap, or maybe it could even be a twin size. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to getting that one done. It's probably up there as a favorite. This is also a layer cake quilt. I think this is beautiful. It is a fabric line that I'm pretty sure it's coriander quilts, but again, Jolly Bar quilt. I have a little addiction right now to the Jolly Bars. I'm not even gonna lie. They make the perfect size quilt for what I typically like, that size. They're fast, they're quick, they go together easy, they're lined good. I just love them. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. I have one more whip from since last time. Star Sampler quilt. I had all the like blocks together. I just needed to start putting it together. I found my sashing pieces that I wasn't entirely sure where they were to start with. And so far, I have the, not sure how well that's showing, but I have a pretty good start on getting that one put together, so hopefully you'll see a finish on that one before too long. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I'm rushing a little bit, but my husband's on his way home. My son's been hiding out in his bedroom while I'm filming and got the phone call. Alright, so this is a quilt that I did many years ago. It was a mystery quilt, and I encourage you, if you ever get the chance to do a mystery quilt, I've done several of those through a local quilt shop, you will really like it. Now I have to say that I probably would not have chosen this these days as my background fabric, but it turned out pretty good. This is probably one of the worst piecing jobs I have ever done on a quilt, and it sat as a top for years, and I finally just said, you know what, I'm just going to get it quilted. We'll just use it on the couch, whatever, it'll be fine. the quilting just hides so much of the piecing imperfection. So if you have that quilt that you're just not in love with, that you think you did a terrible job, it's salvageable. Just, you know, get it quilted, and you'll be amazed at how just the beautifulness just comes out. I mean, it's just so pretty. All right, this is a table runner that is from a quilt shop that I used to work at that has since closed. A good friend of mine ran the shop. Super smart, creative lady. Super, super smart. So this, I do have the binding sewn onto the front, but not on the back, so just ignore it. It looks a little frumpy. This was a cut loose press pattern maybe, and it used the large pineapple ruler from Creative Grids. Their rulers are amazing. I'm a big fan of the rulers. I have a lot of their rulers. That's a whole nother episode somewhere. But they are really good. If you are a ruler person, you should definitely look into them if you haven't. This next quilt, it is also quilted. I don't have the binding on it yet. This was a quilt that my husband picked out. This is his quilt. When we took our anniversary trip that I talked about earlier, we stopped at several quilt shops. We bought a lot of this line of fabric. It's Primitive Gatherings. Love it, love it, love it. And when we got home, he picked out this quilt, and this, it was from a jelly roll, and this jelly roll to be made for his quilt. So I did this at Quilt Camp, the top at Quilt Camp, last time we went, this past trip. So it took about 2.5, 3 days of like solid sewing. When we go to Quilt Camp, you sew from 8 in the morning till 10 at night and just break for meals. And I will probably show this one again once I get the binding on. The binding is one of these dark navies. The quilt pattern is out of, it's a jelly roll book by someone that I can't think of, and I'm so sorry. I will try to remember to show the book in the next video. It's a very, very good jelly roll book. I have several of them, but I've probably done more quilts out of that book than anything else. Speaking of jelly rolls, this is a free pattern. I got it from Fat Quarter Shop site, and I started this on Jelly Roll Day, which in my mind was September 17th. I'm not 100% sure if that's right at this moment. But it was a jelly roll called, I'm so sorry. I'm just so frustrated because we got a phone call. I'm just so happy. Maybe Quotation. That may be right. But I really like this. I don't know if you can see the quilting on it. It's like a orange peel pattern, and it's big. Like, she did it big, my quilter did. She does such good work, and she's so fast. I can send her a quilt on a Saturday and have it back Thursday. Like 99% of the time. I mean, she's awesome. I do have another quilt that I sent off. It is a applique quilt by Laundry Basket. It's a small one. It's one I did several years ago. It may or may not be back by the next video. I'm having it custom quilted. It'll be the first time I have had a quilt custom quilted, so I'm very excited to see how it turns out. Very, very excited. Okay, so quilting haul. I have no self-control when it comes to quilting fabric, quilting patterns, quilting books, quilt rulers, thread, scissors, anything that has to do with quilting, I have zero control. And as I said, right now there's a lot of retail therapy going on, and I don't want you to think that I shop like this all the time, because I don't, but I do shop all the time. Maybe just not to this magnitude. So I'm just going to show you what I've gotten, and all this has been in the last 2 weeks. And just, please don't judge. Okay. Alright, so I got this book, Prim and Proper. Reason being, it was free. When you ordered like $40 before taxes, this was free, and this had been on my list, so I definitely ordered it. Got a Jolly Bar book. I do have 2 of the other Jolly Bar books. I think I'm just missing one of them. And again, I do love them. Their patterns are really, really good. Sorry, my husband just got home. Okay, sorry. This is Thimble Blossoms Swoon 16. A while back I had bought the mini swoon, and one of the other ones, I think it's the one that had all the patchwork in the middle. I talked about quilt camp, and that's coming up soon, and this is one of the ones I'm going to take with me, and I think I'm going to use, it's a fabric line called Maryland, which is like beiges, blacks, creams, to do this. Another Thimble Blossoms. You can tell I watched the video that she was on with Fat Quarter Shop. And again, 2-color quilt, super pretty. And I do like the quilts that are like sampler quilts where all the blocks are different, but there's something else to be said too. Very intrigued by, you know, cut 500 half square triangles. I got this little bag, isn't it cute? I did think it would be bigger, but it was kind of funny when it came. It says, some of my quilted things. Alright, so again, pre-cuts. And again, Americana. There was these were on sale. I don't know if you can tell. I have some stuff, it's kind of quilt blocky. It's red, white, and blue. So I got several of those to do a small charm square quilt. I also just recently joined the club for the mini charm packs, which is part of the reason I was kind of researching on those other, and I got my first packet. So I got late October. There's pretty browns, creams, oranges, grays, country rose, some pretty colors, Lazy Afternoon by Zen Chic. I like their fabrics. It just has some fun prints and colors. And the Flower Farm. I thought I might do some project bags and maybe some more pillows with what comes in on those. I also ordered the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee. I'd watched this for a while. It has obviously the quilt pattern, but it also has a cross stitch pattern in it. And I'd watched this for a while and wanted it, but hadn't quite decided to go ahead and do it. So I did order it this time because you get the bag for you and order the book. So couldn't really refrain from it. So this may be, you know, up and coming. I do like that. It's got like a variety. I really like this block right here. Super cute. Okay, so plans for quilting. So I would like to finish up Star Sampler. I'd like to at least get one more block done on my Riley Blake red and white. I have started printing off the socialites patterns. I didn't do last year's, but thought I might do this year. I'm not 100% sure. But I went ahead and got the binder and I'm printing them off. And as I print this year's like first pattern, I'm printing last year's first pattern. So I may get caught up on those. I'm not sure. I want to do something a little bit different and not just do batiks because I've got a lot of batiks. So I thought I might add a couple bundles. That would be pretty. And then I also have this bundle. I thought that would be really cute. So tell me what you think. I think I could possibly use some of both. And it comes in 3 sizes. I think it's a 3, 6, and 9 inch. Maybe I don't know. I'm not doing the smallest one. I'll probably do like the middle size. Just so it won't be too giant or too small or too cumbersome because I do have a few other things going on. Sorry, there was one more fell on the floor. Didn't even see it. That's another table runner. This is another ruler from Creative Grids. And this one too wasn't like the best piece, but once the quilting was done on it, it turned out really good. So I'm just going to do a simple little binding, maybe purple, maybe blue, maybe red, I'm not sure, something darker. So that's all I have for the quilting. So I'm sorry that the quilting was a little bit rushed and just all over the place, but it got a little busy there in the day. So normally on Saturdays I'm here by myself a pretty good chunk of the day, and I had family home, so that was great. It was fun. So I should be back in 2 weeks' time. I am going to get prepped for quilt camp, which is coming up in November. So our quilt camp is a group of us, normally 10 or 12 of us that get together. We go for 4 days out to, it's actually a Boy Scout camp, but they have like, you know, you can sleep there, they feed you, and we basically do just like I said. We sew from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock or later in the evening, go to bed, get up, do the next thing all over again. So it's really fun to catch up with friends that we haven't seen in a while, share ideas, steal ideas from each other, see the latest things they've purchased, the goodies that they have, and it's just a good time of friendship together. So I will give you another little update on that as I get my stuff ready for camp, because I think I'll film one more time before we go to camp. Until then, I hope you got lots of things done. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you like, subscribe, shoot me some feedback, some ideas back, and hope to see you soon.